Obviously, as for the players on the pitch themselves, they've done really well to bring home the 20th title. And I think it's fair to say that the win was significant in forging some of the legacies of the players at the club. So you have Alexis McAllister, for instance, who, in my opinion, and I don't know if you'd share it, has been the best midfielder in the Premier League. I know people have mentioned people like Declan Rice, but I'm biased, so I'd say Alexis McAllister. He has, along with other first-time winners, would you say that they've helped cement their legacy as potentially legends of the club because this is such a significant trophy win?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. And I would put Alexis McAllister right up there in terms of Liverpool's player of the season contention as well. I mean, he kind of has gone under the radar a little, I think, because obviously there's so much talk about Van Dijk, so much talk rightly about Salah, who is doing the hardest thing to do in football on a weekly basis. So he will win player of the season, and he absolutely will deserve it. But I think McAllister, in terms of importance, is right up there with those two, and he's in the heart of the team as well. So his role is so important there, and it's just, yeah. To be honest, I would kind of agree with you really in terms of him being the best central midfielder in the Premier League. I mean, the one thing I'd say, you try and think who else is kind of in contention. Obviously, Rodri's not been there this season, and he would be up there. I think Declan Rice is a fantastic player, but for me, McAllister, he doesn't quite have that running power of a Declan Rice, but he makes up for it with his intelligence of his positioning, his tenacity is there, and he's got far more craft with the ball, I would say. I think Declan Rice, for all his qualities, he can be a little bit heavy-footed at times, I would say, and I'm not trying to do him down. I still think he's a fantastic player, but for me, McAllister's probably in a slightly different class there, really. And I do wonder with McAllister sometimes with his lack of running power and size is whether he ends up a little bit underrated, really, not just in the kind of wider footballing world, but among Liverpool supporters as well, because I just think he's absolutely unbelievable. And we don't really talk enough about the fact that Liverpool somehow signed him for £35 million. That is, I mean, what would he be worth now if he came onto the market? It's an absolute joke, really, a complete steal for Liverpool. So what a signing he's been. And I thought it was fitting that he got that goal to make it 2-1. And I thought his overall performance, he won the most duels, won the most tackles, scores a goal like that on his wrong foot. I think he has 3 shots in total, creates a couple of chances as well. He's just a Swiss Army knife. He is absolutely world class at everything that you need in a central midfielder. And then the fact that he was at the heart of the game and the performance that sealed it, I thought was very fitting, because he's been absolutely fantastic all season.
Absolutely. And World Cup winner, Copa America winner, Premier League winner. You just better add that Champions League medal next season, but we'll see what happens next season. But in terms of some of our more established stars, or stars that have been at the club for longer, you have Alisson, Robertson, Trent, Van Dijk and Joe Gomez and Salah, who have all won their second Premier League title. If they weren't already there, this Premier League trophy puts them amongst the greatest ever players in the Premier League in their division, surely, because you can't discount all that they've won and all that they've done at Liverpool.
Well, this is it. The only argument about them being in that conversation is, well, they've only won the Premier League once. And, I don't agree with the attempts to say, oh, it's behind closed doors, because that is obviously complete nonsense. They had it wrapped up before then. But that was, one of the accusations that was levelled at them, that they hadn't won enough, really. And you think about someone like Mo Salah is probably the best example. He's now got as many Premier League titles as Thierry Henry. So, again, when we had that conversation earlier in the season about kind of where does he stand in terms of goal scoring, in terms of his Premier League legacy, well, you can't throw the silverware arguments at him now. He's, Mo Salah's got 2 Premier League titles. He's got a European Cup, which Thierry Henry didn't win whilst he was in the Premier League. So, I think these things are kind of important. Unfortunately, we're talking about collective honours in terms of judging individuals against them, and that it's probably not fair. And if they hadn't won the Premier League title this season and had got beaten to it by another rampant Manchester City season, they'd still be as great as players. But I guess to convince the wider public, you probably do need those winners' medals, don't you? And so I think for Salah, for Alisson, for Van Dijk, these are kind of important wins in terms of what it does in terms of cementing the legacy of fans of other clubs and outside observers of Liverpool. So it's definitely helpful in terms of that.